Hello and welcome to Team 1's audit panel of the Red Bull F1 racing team. We'll provide you in-depth coverage of how effective the Red Bull team really is. Fatima, what framework and criteria did we use for this audit?
Good day, racing enthusiasts. Today we're going to discuss the criteria and framework used to audit a high-performing team. The criteria were developed to cover both the static and dynamic characteristics of high-performance teams: mutual accountability, complementary skills, common purpose, roles and responsibilities, performance goals, and a common working approach are critical constant qualities of a team. Additionally, we examined the psychosocial environment present on the team and how it impacted responses to challenges by adding morale and resilience. Resources included articles, videos, podcasts, and related media publications have been used to evaluate a team's performance relative to each criterion. Scoring was based on each individual member's conclusions of performance relative to criteria and was averaged to mitigate member biases. So that's the criteria and framework used to audit a team's performance. Stay tuned for more updates by Alicia.
Thank you, Fatima. In order to do the audit selection of the target team, brainstorming, selecting teams, research, and an MAU analysis was done. For brainstorming, we individually brainstormed criteria that reflected high-performing teams and then met to determine the final criteria. For team selection, each member selected a team that would potentially be chosen for the audit. For research, each member individually researched their chosen team, finding any publicly available information. And then finally, to perform the MAU analysis, we met as a group and scored each team based upon the criteria. The team with the highest score was then chosen. In this case, it was Red Bull F1. Now to Joyoshri to discuss implementation.
Thanks, Alicia. Now, the objective of this audit is to determine if Red Bull meets our team's criteria for high-performing teams. Each of us searched for information to evaluate whether Red Bull meets effective teaming criteria and to what degree. The goal was to find examples of Red Bull being mutually accountable, expressing high team morale, showcasing complementary skills, showing resilience, adaptability, having a common purpose, having defined roles and responsibilities, working towards clear performance goals, and showing a common working approach and decision-making skills. To perform the audit of Red Bull, each of us conducted independent research online to find any publicly available information related to Red Bull. This included the team site, any articles that have been published about their history, the team aspect of Red Bull, and any other sources that we could find to support this audit. Once the information was reviewed, the data was compiled, and each of us ranked on a scale of 1 to 5 how well Red Bull met each criterion. From there, the averages of each criterion were calculated, resulting in a final score that was compared against the predetermined scale that measures team's effectiveness. Sharon, I know you can touch on these final results in more details, isn't that right?
Absolutely. So to reiterate how we viewed a team to be highly effective, we had 2 criteria. First, we wanted to see highly effective characteristics for most of the criteria listed. So we're looking for 4s and 5 here. And as we can see, Red Bull received mostly 5s across the board. And second, we were looking to make sure that all criteria had 3 and above. Red Bull was extremely effective in morale, complementary skills, having a common purpose, roles and responsibilities, and common performance goals. You can see from the table that the areas of slight weakness for Red Bull team was in mutual accountability, adaptability, and common working approach. When it comes to mutual accountability, there's an imbalance of responsibility weighing heavily on the 2 drivers, as they're the final ones to execute on those wins or losses. The only slight weakness with Red Bull's adaptability and resilience is that during race times, there's less opportunity to be adaptable for those drivers, as there are other forces that could completely end the race for them. For example, Hamilton from Mercedes comes in and crashes into Verstappen, and the car is destroyed. And finally, looking at the Red Bull's lowest scoring criteria, common working approach. This could be improved by the team members, especially for the drivers, by fully committing to personal success and allowing the team members to share in the leadership responsibilities. Keith, could you give us your final thoughts as to how we could think about the successful team metaphorically?
Sure. The Red Bull team is a race car. The wheels are the common purpose. They have a good reason for existence. The brakes are mutual accountability. Cars and teams need to be able to slow and change direction. Finish line is the goal. In this case, there's no confusion where the car needs to go. Steering is adaptability and resilience. Cars need to steer around obstacles, in this case Ferrari. Driver is common approach. They rely on their training and rules to make the correct choices. Car subsystems are the roles and responsibilities. The engine, exhaust, and frame all have jobs to do. Fuel is the morale. Cars and teams require fuel to keep moving. And finally, the functions of the car's parts are complementary skills. Each part has a unique set of skills that work synergistically. We'd like to thank you for joining us during this special coverage of the Red Bull F1 team and hope that you catch their next win. Thank you and good night.